You may be wondering what these things have in common. That thing is that they can cause noise-induced hearing loss.
What's noise-induced hearing loss?
That is a great question. To put it simply, noise-induced hearing loss is a hearing impairment that results from exposure to loud sounds. But it's a lot more complicated than that. So let's start by understanding how we hear. Sound waves enter the outer ear and travel through the ear canal, which leads to the eardrum. The eardrum vibrates from the incoming sound waves and sends these vibrations to three tiny bones in the middle ear. The bones in the middle ear send vibrations to the cochlea, the thing that looks like a snail. Inside the cochlea, hair cells are stimulated, which creates an electrical signal that the auditory nerve carries to the brain. The brain interprets these signals, and this is how we hear. In order to understand noise-induced hearing loss, it is important to understand what frequency is. Frequency is measured in hertz and tells us how high or low a sound is. This diagram shows how frequency is represented along the cochlea. If someone hears a high sound at 20,000 hertz, the hair cells at the start of the cochlea are stimulated. If someone hears a low sound at 400 hertz, the hair cells towards the end of the cochlea are stimulated. Another concept that is important to understand is what a decibel is. A decibel is a unit used to measure the intensity of a sound. So, the higher the decibels, the louder the sound. Now that we have all that background information, I can explain how loud sounds can damage our hearing. Basically, loud sounds kill the hair cells at the frequency of the sound. This can happen suddenly in the case of a gunshot or explosion, or it can happen as people are repeatedly exposed to loud sounds, such as loud music or loud machinery. And once those hair cells die, they can never recover.
Why does it matter? So basically, as was said before, those hair cells are the way we hear different frequencies and in turn sound. Hearing loss can be caused by exposure to 85 decibels or above. But what does that really mean? Here are some average decibel ratings of everyday sounds to help put it into perspective. Some of these things you hear every day can damage your hearing. Whispered voice, 30 decibels. That's relatively quiet. The humming of a refrigerator, 45 decibels. Normal conversation, 60 decibels. Noise from heavy traffic, 85 decibels. This is the point where your hearing can be damaged. Motorcycles, 95 decibels. Snowmobiles, 100 decibels. An MP3 player or earbuds at maximum volume, 105 decibels. Chainsaws in music concerts, 110 decibels. Sirens, 120 decibels. Firecrackers and firearms, 150 decibels. You better wear your hearing protection on the 4th of July. What will happen once you lose hearing? Does this matter? Noise-induced hearing loss can cause tinnitus, an annoying ringing or constant buzzing in the ear. Sounds can also be distorted and muffled, with uncertainty about various aspects of speech, such as plurals and past tense. Various sounds and words, like sh, f, s, p, t, k, are not heard correctly. Try eliminating these sounds from the words you say. There's not much left to be understood. This is why it's important to protect your hearing, especially when sounds are too loud and can cause damage.
When it comes to ear protection, there are four main types out there. There is a custom fit ear protection that fits around the entire ear and it's custom fit for your ear. There are reusable ear protection or earplugs that again are made out of a plastic or a silicone that you can wash and clean and reuse. Now there are also non-reusable ones, and they're either a foam earplug or sometimes they are a wax or silicone earplug. And then last there are ear muffs, and this was actually headphones that I use that again are meant to keep, but again so you can go and reuse those. Now When it comes to ear protection, not only do you have to have the ear protection for you, but you need to make sure you're using it properly. So the two that I have that I will demonstrate are the ear muffs. So if you do get ear muffs, make sure that you have it to fit snugly around your entire pinna, your ear. Make sure that it's not loose so that sound won't get, again, through. Make sure it's fitting properly around there. When it comes to foam earplugs, they're a little trickier. You need to make sure that you have it pressed firmly closed, just like this, and then you have to hold it in your ear canal and count for about 20 seconds to make sure it expands, so again, there's no sound coming in. Now when it comes to buying these ear protections, there are many places you can get them. You can get them at Walmart, which is where I got mine, for about a couple bucks. You can also get ear muffs anywhere from about $10 to about $40, depending on, and again at Walmart, you can get them at a Home Depot. When it comes to more of the reusable ones or the custom fit, those ones you will get online. You can go to like Amazon, and those ones are usually more expensive, can range anywhere from $50 to about $100. So if you're going out to a concert, if you're mowing the lawn, if you're doing something that's going to cause a lot of noise, make sure that you have your proper ear protection and that you're also using it correctly. Thank you.
When many people think of motorcycle riding and safety gear, they often think of what we can see to the right. We see a leather jacket, a full-face helmet, gloves, and riding boots. However, a lot of people fail to realize how important ear protection is while recreationally or professionally riding your motorcycle. Okay, as we can see here, it has a pretty easy interface where we can see relatively accurate plus or minus 2 dB readings. So we're going to place this down here, and we can see the ambient noise right now is about 71, depending on if I'm speaking or not, which is pretty typical. So now we got to see what the sound pressure level was at idle. What about when we rev it up? And we've seen while we revved it up that we got to roughly 101 dB.
What have we learned?
This is lovely.
So here I go again with my protection on.